Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we're checking out the new Tactile Ranger that just dropped. Everything will be linked down in the description. So the blade steel on this guy is titanium, or blade steel's Magnacut 6364, and the handle is titanium. Now what's cool about this is it has a cross-cut section of micarta. And we're going to pull up a bunch of other tactile knives here in 1 second and kind of compare them a little bit. So this is their newest model. It is an Oeser Design. Like I said, Magnacut Steel. You can see the MC right there, 63 to 64, and it is a slip joint with a beautiful low tip clip point blade with a false edge. Look at that. Very thin spine up here. It almost looks sharpened, but I love the way, if you look how the grind right here, this just looks amazing to me. You got the plunge going up, and then it goes straight, then it cants down, and it snakes back up right here. That just looks sick to me. I love it. This is a very, very high functioning blade shape because the tip is nice and low, so you easily can get to that tip, easily get to the belly. And then you have plenty of flat right there for slicing. And this is oh so comfortable. Very, very, very comfortable. Let's see how this thing does cut. So we got 2 pieces of cardboard here representing double walled. Look at that, blazing through. The ergos are definitely what helps this thing because it doesn't have that clip. So man, it just feels so good in the hand. Let's do a couple utility cuts. We'll do one with double walled. Yeah, very, very easy. Blaze it through it like nothing. This tip is just so good for this because you have like the belly drawing the stuff in. Like I could do it with just the belly. Look at that, just the belly. Tips off the, look at that, or the tip. Very, very good. Yeah, that's pretty dope. So the spine is a little bit thin though, like I said. So when you're pushing down, bearing down right there, you feel it, but I don't know if you'll really do that. I'll just do the pinch. And you know, you're not that far from the edge, so I don't know if there's too much reason to do that, unless if you're doing gentle stuff, which then I could maybe see. Yeah, she cuts great. I mean, it's a very neutral handle, so it doesn't matter what grip you have it in, it's going to be comfortable, and all the edges are nicely rounded. Now the spine, even though it is a false edge, it doesn't hurt to close. So it's not thin enough to, you know, to really bother you. Maybe if you did it one finger like this, and it's still fine. The pull does have the nail nick right there. You can get by with just squeezing it without using your nail. It does have a fairly strong pull, but not strong enough that if you're using your nail, it's going to bother you at all. Like you get, because you have enough thickness here, like you can see, I can just pinch it with my fingers. And like I said, it has a strong pull. So this has a nice sharp edge on it that will get you so that you can easily pull it out. The blade has, I think, a vapor blast. I'm not positive, but I love their finishing work. Something that when I was at Tactile's shop and I filmed their shop, one of the things we checked out the whole process, but their tumble machines and stuff are just amazing. Like they have really high quality tumble machines, and they take a lot of pride in the way they do their finishing work. Now, this handle, I can't tell if this is like just blasted finish, and it's so soft. It's very smooth. It almost feels like it's a polished finish, but super soft. But the color is a little different to me. So I don't know if there's a coating on this or not, like a titanium nitride coating or something. You can see the machining on the inside of there. I love the pivot, how it's a unique shape. The inlay, very, very well done. I love cross-cut micarta and cross-cut carbon fiber. It's probably my favorite of carbon fiber or micarta is the cross-cut sections. I love like wavy weave carbon fiber. It looks so good to me. The handle, like I said, man, it's so ergonomic, man. This thing is going to work out so well for anything you're going to do. Let's talk about the pull strength though. Like I said, it is strong, but you have a half stop there. Once you get to a half stop, now here's where, you know, it's got a lot more pressure. Well, maybe not a lot, but some more pressure. But you have such a good grip on the blade that you can easily snap it open. You see how that is not a lock, but it kind of locks open to some extent, you know, and you know, you can feel that pressure is pretty damn good. Let's check out the walk and talk. You can't really use this part right here. I guess you could use that flat spot right there if you wanted to knock it down, but it's just better just to do the false edge. But this can be a little thin, you know, so maybe if you're really delicate, it might. I don't think it will though. Geometry on the knife, a little bit on the more robust side. Now, I don't think that's necessarily a negative. I'll be honest, I kind of wish it was a hollow grind, but I don't think they've done any hollow grinds. They haven't done any hollow grinds. They've only done flat grinds. But what I'll say is that would have been really cool to hollow. However, I don't think this is bad at all. It's a narrow blade. So in order to go from the thickest portion right here down to this edge, that's too rapid of a jump for it to be super thin behind the edge. But it's plenty thin and plenty slicey, especially with these ergonomics. It'll cut just fine. And a lot of people tend to use their knives a little, you know, I don't want to say hazardous. They tend to do things with their knives that can potentially hurt their blade if it's too thin. So I do understand, even if it's a slip joint, why somebody might want something just slightly on the thicker side so they can pick at stuff and things like that. But I do typically think like a knife like this with a slip joint should be a little bit slicier as far as having a hollow grind or something. It can help it be resharpened. Like, you know, this, you know, the more you sharpen it, the thicker the edge is going to get. If it's a hollow grind, that's not necessarily the case, or at least not rapidly. As far as, you know, we're going to pull up some other knives here in 1 second. But first, I want to go over some nitpicks really quick because I only have a couple. They did a really good job with this. So one nitpick is I wish it had a clip. I don't mind slip joints. I actually, you know, like slip joints, but I love them to have a clip. It doesn't come with a pocket sheath or a clip. However, I got plenty of pocket sheaths. I can absolutely use one of them, no problem. But I would have just loved to have seen it with a clip. I think that would have been really cool. Not that that's a negative, but it's just something I would have preferred. A couple real negatives is this is a little bit thin up here. Yes, I can easily get it, so I don't want to make it seem like it's hard or anything like that. But I tend to like a little bit more blade hanging out so that I can grip it and rip it. Now, yes, I can grip it and rip it on this. I don't want to make it seem like I can't, because I absolutely can. But it could be slightly better. I feel like I'm getting it just fine, but I just feel like it's a little thin, and I just kind of wish I had a little bit more to just grab and pull, even though it does work just fine. It's just, you know, this is a nitpicky thing for me with slip joints. I love either one, a lot of blade hanging out, or just like a nice, maybe it's a deep hollow grind or something so that I can pinch and or rip it out really fast. Not everybody's gonna be like that, but that's just me. Next thing, sharpening tool and plunge grind is okay. I don't want to make it seem like it's bad. They actually did an okay job here. But because it is a little bit more robust behind the edge, when you sharpen it, the bevel, especially if you lower back the edge angle, most likely people sharpen this is going to keep the same edge angle, so it should be fine. You're going to have a few sharpenings before you hit the plunge, because the plunge stops like right there at that crevice, so you do have a little bit to sharpen off. But, you know, I always like just a little bit more. So it would have been cool if this was just the same notch right there, just a little deeper or a little bit bigger. And I mean slightly. That's why I'm not even calling it a negative, because the amount of difference I'm talking about is very, very little. The next thing, so one thing, and I don't know, I can't tell, but see how you can push it down right there? That's how traditional slip joints are. So that is a common thing with slip joints. Even the Jack Wolf knives do that. Sometimes you can hit your edge on the back spacer. I don't feel any issues with this one, and I've tried to get it. I don't think it's hitting. I think what's happening is this portion right here is actually pushing on. Oh yeah, you can see it, that little shiny spot right there. Right there. So actually, no, that's pretty cool. That's just fine. What else? Tell me that's not T6s. If you're looking for a good sheath, check out Richter Knives. These are USA made. He does an amazing job. This one is probably my favorite sheath I have. I love the leather that he uses on here, and you can pick the color options, and he has different kinds of leather. But I have another one that is double stitched right here. So there's 2 stitches side by side, which makes it to where it holds the knife a little bit tighter. This one actually works pretty perfect for this one, so I'm happy with it in this one. But you know, if a knife is slightly slimmer, then the double stitch works really, really well. I definitely recommend the double stitch. I mean, both of them are amazing. I like having them both because then I can choose. Richter Knives though, check him out. Let's go over some nitpicks and negatives. So one thing is, and this isn't really a negative or nitpick, but it's a preference. I'd love to see a clip on this. It didn't come with a sheath, which is fine. I have plenty of sheaths. You can buy sheaths, you know, but I would have really liked to have seen just a clip on here. Even if it was a removable clip and they had an inlay that looked like this or something, you know, just to kind of blend in, or something to where you could take it off or put it back on, but you have an insert to cover it if you don't want it. It is very comfortable without a clip. So I want to be honest, it's so comfortable without it. And that is one cool thing about having a knife without a clip, is they are very, very comfortable. But I would prefer a clip to carry it. Of course, you can just use a sheath. Next thing, sharpen tone plunge grind, while it's fine, and I don't want to make it seem like this is horrible, but because the edge is slightly more on the robust side, I would like to see this just bigger. Like the exact same thing, just slightly bigger. Maybe like up to my nail right there. Like it's such a small amount that I would change it, that I don't want to consider bad, but just like, meh, just like a little tiny half a circle right there, just a little bit more, just so that if I do want to lower back my edge angle and my bevel gets bigger, I'm not going to hit the plunge. Now, most likely people are going to keep the same angle. And I say that because it's a decent angle. It's not a bad angle. So if you keep the same angle, you'll have plenty of sharpenings there. It's when you lower back the edge angles when it eats up, you know, that amount. But it does make knives cut better and edge retention go up and so on. Next thing, while I do think that this is easy to pull, right? It is easy to pull. I don't want to make it seem like this is a horrible thing, because you can see how easily I can do it. I do prefer a little bit more blade to grip. I kind of wish this little nail nick was on both sides so that I caught both sides, or maybe that the false edge wasn't so sharp or something. I'm not sure, but I tend to like them when I can really just grip it without any nail nick at all, just with the blade, which I can with this, but just faster, right? Like I feel like I'm getting it just fine, you know, and I have no problem getting it. I don't want to make it seem like I have a problem getting it, because I don't, but I feel like I'm like right there on the line of which it could be difficult, but it's not. So, you know, a little bit more would have, like either a little bit more blade popping out or possibly a little bit thicker. I don't know. I think just something to where I had more squeeze on the blade when I pull it out. It's fine though. Yeah, there's not much negative here, guys. TA hardware all the way around. Lots of milling on the inside. It's not very heavy. It's got a forward balance, like right there at the micarta. I love the crosscut micarta. So, man, all in all, man, I think it's pretty damn cool. And I love that it's USA made and made at Tactile Factory in Texas, because it is a damn good looking knife. So we have the Archer here. Love the Archer. This is my favorite knife from them by far. I freaking dig this thing. I love it. It's just, you know, it's totally my style knife, and love the multiple forms of deployment. Then we have actually something that recently just came out. We have the Mariner 2. Now the Mariner 2, all of these come in Magnacut, by the way, 63 to 64 HRC. This guy, you can see I got the, what the heck's that called? I can't even think of the name of it now. Superconductor. The Superconductor stud. I also got a Timascus one, which is badass. And, you know, you can just change it up, a little pop of color. But you can see the size. They're basically the same size. So if you want a knife this size, but you want something that is locking, check out the Bob Terzola. This is, like I said, or you can go watch my full video on it. I talk all about it, so I don't want to sit here and talk about it right here, but this was a custom knife from a long time ago, and basically, you know, he licensed it out for Tactile to do. This is the Rockwall, which was their first model, and you can see basically the same size as the Rockwall. These guys all kind of fall in line. This is the slimmest one when it comes to handle, though. This is actually pretty thin too, but yeah, it's still a little bit more thick, a little bit thicker. Then We got the Maverick. Maverick is the second longest. It's about the same length as the Archer. But yeah, there is all my tactile knives. They do have pens as well, titanium pens, which is Tactile Turn. They do a really good job with their pens. I love their pens. I've got some G10 ones. I've got titanium ones. I think I have an aluminum. Yeah, I got an aluminum one. All of them are awesome. Every single one of them. And you know, the G10 one, it's made out of G10, but it's so grippy that it actually has, it's very satisfying to use. Look at that action. This thing has amazing action. But yeah, they do a great job with their steels, do a great job with their heat treatment. You know, I've tested their steels and you know, and I still continue to sharpen them and test them still today, you know. I'm very happy that mine was one of the first ones, by the way. The plunge grind, they did fix that on the new version. So they did separate the end of the plunge, which, you know, I'm happy to say that I helped encourage. And I love that Tactile does that, man. Tactile is a company, you know, say what you want. You know, these guys, you know, they're fairly new and they are working hard to bring us great knives, great American-made knives. And we got to root for the home team, guys. We got to root for the home team. And I think that the more we do that, the better these companies not only will get, but the more they'll be able to do, the bigger they'll be able to get, you know, and the more we'll be able to create here in the USA. And Tactile's definitely one of those guys doing that. Are they perfect? No, but I can't think of one company that is, not one. So I don't expect them to be. What I do expect, though, is that if I have an issue and I need to contact them for whatever reason, they answer the damn phone and they help me, right? Which I've never heard anybody say otherwise when they've contacted them. Not one person has ever, and I've talked to a lot of people because I do talk to people that talk to the companies aside from myself so that I can know, like, you know, are they just treating me like this? Or are they treating, you know, everybody like this? And I've yet to have heard any different. Like, everybody pretty much has the same experience, which, you know, that's all you can ask for with an awesome company. So there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Till next time, peace.